The old creaking house stood at the edge of town, a solitary sentinel against the encroaching urban sprawl. For years it had been vacant, its windows dark and lifeless, a haunting reminder of a time long past. But when Daniel, a young and ambitious writer, moved in, he brought with him a thirst for inspiration and a complete disregard for the local legends that whispered of the house being haunted. Daniel was drawn to the house's Gothic charm and the promise of solitude. He envisioned long nights spent toiling away at his novel, the only sounds the crackling of the fireplace and the ticking of the old grandfather clock. However, he soon discovered that the house held secrets far more sinister than he could have imagined. Daniel begins to hear strange noises at night, footsteps that seem to follow him from room to room, whispers that echo through the halls, and the chilling sensation of being watched. Objects move on their own, doors slam shut without explanation, and cold spots appear in the most unexpected places. Daniel dismisses these occurrences as tricks of the mind at first, but as they become more frequent and more disturbing, he begins to question his sanity. Daniel starts to research the history of the house and discovers a dark secret: a series of unexplained deaths that have occurred within its walls. Local legend claims that the house is haunted by a malevolent entity that feeds on the fear of its victims. As Daniel delves deeper into the mystery, he finds himself drawn into a dangerous game with the unseen presence. He encounters terrifying visions, experiences near-death encounters, and uncovers a horrifying truth about the house's past. Create relatable characters with flaws and vulnerabilities. Daniel could be a character struggling with writer's block or personal demons, making him more susceptible to the supernatural. Build a sense of atmosphere by describing the house in detail, focusing on its decaying state and the eerie silence that pervades it. Gradually increase the tension and suspense, leading to a climax that leaves the reader on the edge of their seat. Develop the concept of a malevolent entity that is both terrifying and mysterious. Give it a backstory and motivations that make it believable within the context of the story. Incorporate elements of folklore and mythology to create a sense of authenticity. For example, the entity could be summoned through a specific ritual or be tied to a particular object. The ending could be left open to interpretation, allowing the reader to decide what happened to Daniel. Perhaps he managed to escape the house but is forever haunted by what he experienced. Or he could become a victim of the entity, his fate sealed within the walls of the house.